Hello everyone, it's Lottie from Cancer is a Lifestyle. So I have a little story to tell you about a blanket that I've recently made. Um, we all have or had a neighbor that maybe we did not see eye to eye with. And I've recently have a family member that a few months ago we sat down and we were talking just in general, and the topic came up with that neighbor that they just never saw eye to eye with, and constantly butting heads with. And I just suggested that you know what, I'm just going to make this person a blanket, and this blanket might just be that turning point in your relationship where it will break the ice and smooth things over, and maybe it will work out for the best. Just the fact that someone thought of her and wanted to make her something. And I said, I am, and of course, my family member was like, oh, no, no, that's never going to work. Not with this person. It's been years and nothing's ever worked. So I ended up being curiously, I kind of made a joke with my family member that, I wonder what the blanket will be. I mean, what kind of color and all, because, I've mentioned this before. The colors, or that I choose, there's a way I choose them, and it just speaks to me, right? And so I was curious to see what kind of colors would be for this woman who was just so tightly drawn, just so angry inside, I guess. And my family member was like, oh, it's probably going to be black, because no, it just can't be any other color. It'll be black, like her personality, and her character, and like her heart hardened and all. And I say, you might just be surprised, what color it might actually be, because people tend to behave in one way or put on a facade, but inside, there's other things going on. So, but that was about August, and August turned into September, and then it turned into October, then it turned into November, and I would stare at my little shelf here with yarn, and nothing would speak to me. Like literally nothing. I would have so many other blankets that I would get done and mailed out and sent out, and it would immediately, I just knew what color to make for that person. But yet for her, I just could not come up with a color. I would just look at it and I go, what? I mean, what is it? What is it? And then, when you're trying to find something, you find yourself like forcing it. So I would try to combine colors, and I go, no, that's wrong. It's not coming naturally. So it's not for her. And then finally, in the middle of November, I ended up just glancing over, like looking for something else for someone else, and I said, that's the color for her. So today I finally finished it. I am going to show you what color it is, and then I'm going to package it up and get it sent, delivered to her, and I will keep you updated as to what happens with this. Will this blanket be that turning point in their you know relationship and smoothing the ways? But I tell you, I've been praying and praying about this and thinking about this blanket for so long. But it is actually yarn that was donated to me by Nana's Crochet Ideas for the ministry, and Terry. And it's the Premier Parfait in the blue. And I just smile every time I look at this blanket, because it is the most beautiful blue color, like the sky, and it is the softest blanket, like a baby blanket. And now my color just went crazy. Here we go. So it's like this really pretty color and so soft. And yet, here's this woman who supposedly has such a hardened heart, and doesn't get along with people, and yet look at the color that ended up being for her blanket. So, and so soft, you guys. I wish it was like that. Parfait is just like so soft. It's one of those softest yarns out there. So I'm going to get this off to them. I've already, washed it and on. I'm going to package it up, and I'll let you know what happens further in the story. So far, every blanket that I have sent out has been received, and overwhelmingly, they loved it. It brought a lot of comfort to people. And it's not that I make some fantastic blankets, do not get me wrong. That's not what it is. I think that what people what affects people is the fact that someone took the time to make them something. There's something special about homemade gifts. So that's something to think about when, you may go looking at stores and pay them so much money for presents. When people really react um, generously, warm-heartedly, I mean, when it is something that's been made for them. And I think that's what the whole thing is the fact that someone made them a gift, so made them something from scratch. And that could be, it doesn't have to be something crocheted, it could be just, a poem, it could be, just a pie, I've always wanted, here we just finished with Christmas, I've always wanted to do a Christmas where there was no material gifts at all that were bought from a store or purchased that way, and only gifts would be the ones that we made ourselves, whether we sang a song or did a dance or made a card or carved something out of wood or embroidered or crocheted, and those would be the gifts that we would give each other at Christmas. And maybe one day I am going to actually do that for Christmas. But anyway, I also do have an update on the little girl who was mauled by the dogs. She's doing much, much better. She still has a mark on her cheek, and it's probably going to end up being scarring where she was bit. But she's not totally disfigured or anything, but she will be having scars on her face. And supposedly they tell me that she walks around with her blanket everywhere she goes. So it's obviously bringing her some comfort, and that's all I want, is for people to be comforted in some way or bring joy to their life with the knowledge that someone cares about them. Someone actually cares about how they feel and what they're going through in life. So anyway, you guys, I hope you have a wonderful day. You guys are probably sick and tired of all these blankets, but this has certainly been a year for blankets, where 2020 was, and I'm really glad that I got this one done, and it's actually such a beautiful, soft color and the feel of it, and I hope it just melts this woman's heart. Into putty, she just falls apart. So anyway, I will see you tomorrow. Bye bye.